stay hungry. Now, there's something that is built into the internal mechanism that keeps us in the pursuit of food and water and sustenance. And so that's a biological dynamic. Now, there is a physiological dynamic and a mental and emotional dynamic to staying hungry. You see, success is a moving target. It's one of the best things I've ever heard. Success is a moving target, meaning when you achieve, there is going to be, if you're paying attention and you're hungry, there will be something else that you can achieve, something that you can do more of. It's like when you're in the courtship and building the foundation of your marriage or your long term relationship. You don't just stop doing the things that got you there once you're there. You want to continue to reinvent yourself within the context of that dynamic so that you can be a supportive partner, a partner that is growing and evolving and developing and encouraging your partner to do the same. And so you keep finding new and creative ways to pour into that person and to love that person up and to encourage them, to challenge them, to keep them accountable. But if you just put it in park and you start taking that person for granted, you start taking the relationship for granted, it will die. And so staying hungry is tantamount to your perpetual growth and success. And so when you look at the orbit that you're in, my question to you is it an orbit that feeds you, that challenges you, that stretches you, that really encourages you to grow? And when you look at your goals being achieved, is there something else that's on standby for you to reach for after that? There's an importance to being greedy for growth, greedy for more success, not necessarily greedy for more accumulation of things and stuff. It's more about the growth and the fulfillment and the achievement that you can bring forth because you're staying hungry and you're in that constant, perpetual pursuit of greatness and excellence. So that when you hit one goal, you got another one that's right there and you're just getting after it so that you're not sitting still. Sometimes I've watched this, I've seen this, I've probably experienced it if I'm really being um, thoughtful about it, where you have a goal or a target and then you hit it and you think you've arrived or you feel like, oh, well, that's it, like I'm good. No, that's not how life works. That's not the dynamic that we're in. You know, there is no resting place. You're either progressing or you're regressing. You're either moving up or you're going down. You're either growing or you're dying. The only resting place, the only plateau is in the graveyard. So even when you are in self-perceived plateaus, it's not really a plateau. You're either learning and you're learning, right? The loss is a lesson, the win is a blessing, or you're not doing anything. You're just sitting and you're rotting. And sometimes people find themselves in situations where they're on the repeat cycle. They're just doing what they know how to do each and every day. And they're punching a clock and they're doing the same things over and over again, but they're not really growing. So, what is that thing for you? Some people will get comfortable, and I think success can be a trap. Success can trip you up. It can make you soft and stupid all at the same time. Why? Because when you start to achieve success, you start to think, oh, well, I got this. I'm good. Like I know what I'm doing. I'm successful. I'm achieving this and I'm earning that and I'm moving up the ranks and things are going great. And I've been in that situation where I thought naively it was going to continuously just be that way forever because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So therefore, things are going to just keep going and growing and blowing, and I'm going to have a great time. No, it doesn't work that way. There are cycles of life, there are cycles in business, there are cycles in anything that is alive. That's just the nature of the beast. Now, what's important is having that perpetual growth mechanism in your brain. having that hunger, that drive, that desire, so that you're really getting after it. I remember I had a goal, and had a very specific target, and it took me about 3.5, maybe 4 years to really hit the goal. And I didn't only hit the goal, I destroyed it. I was way further than I had expected, and I had achieved more than what I had set out to achieve. So what happened was it short circuited my whole system, because I hadn't learned at that stage of my life the importance of having perpetual goals, and understanding that success really is a moving target. And then the worst part of success, ladies and gentlemen, is success. Because you can rest on your laurels. You can start to think that I'm good. I know what I'm doing, and you might get a little overconfident. You might get a little cocky, comfortable, falling into a routine, not having that same hunger and drive. There's a phrase that a lot of fighters talk about, and it was birthed from one of the greats, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and great middleweight boxer. He fought Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns and Roberto Duran. He was that era of boxers, and he said it's very difficult for a fighter once they become champion, and they're getting all the accolades and the recognition. He said it could be very difficult for a fighter to get up at 4 in the morning and go for a run when they're sleeping under silk sheets. And what he was saying was, when you've hit your goal, you've achieved the boxing championship, and you've achieved millions of dollars in prize money. Well, now you get comfortable, you get soft, and you get stupid, because now you start to think, well, I've arrived and I'm the champion of the world and can't nobody mess with me. And you know what? I'm good. I don't have to work as hard as I did, because I earned the right to take a day off. I earned the right to get up at 6 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock. I earned the right to sleep a little bit longer underneath those silk sheets. And so Marvin Hagler was saying a lot of fighters, they lose their edge because they get comfortable. And so sometimes we can set a goal for ourselves, and then we hit it, and we don't have something else that's going to challenge us. We think, oh, well, I've done this, and so I deserve to chill. I deserve to relax. It's like the person that says, I'm going to run a marathon, and they run the marathon, and then 2 years later, they put on 40 pounds. And you're like, well, wait a minute, what happened? And, well, I ran the marathon. Like, I did something that 98% of the population will never do. Yeah, that's true. But why didn't you have another goal to go for after that? Well, why don't you do, a longer marathon? Why don't you try a different sport? Why don't you hold yourself to another opportunity to test yourself physically? So it's important for us to stay hungry, because when you're hungry, as Mr. Les Brown would say, you're constantly growing. You get up every morning with a spirit of growth. What can I get from the day, instead of just trying to get through the day? And how do I avoid and stay out of the comfort zone? Because my comfort zone is my broke zone. The comfort zone is like carbon monoxide. It is a slow, silent killer. It'll slowly choke the life out of your hopes and dreams and aspirations, and you will not stretch. You will not grow. You'll just park. And you'll think you're at a plateau, but you're not. You're actually going backwards. You're dying. So keep that in mind, especially as you're really gearing up for 2026, and you're thinking about some of the things that you didn't do in 2025, and now you're focusing on, I'm going to hit the reset button. I'm going to do much better in 2026. I'm going to learn from my mistakes. I'm going to not take my foot off the gas pedal. I'm going to keep my commitment to my commitment. I'm going to follow through. I'm going to see this to the end. Some of you are making commitments, and you're setting forth goals that make you nervous, that give you anxiety. Great. That's important. That means you're about to do something that is beyond the scope of your imagination. You're going to stretch and challenge yourself in ways that make you incredibly uncomfortable. And that's where all the good stuff is, in the uncomfortable growth zone. But staying hungry is important. Understanding that growth is important. Understanding that learning is important. Constant, never-ending improvement. CNEI, constant, never-ending improvement. And listen, I'm nervous. Like I'm looking at what we're going to be doing in the first quarter of 2026, and I got some anxiety. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'm nervous, because I'm like, how the hell are we gonna do this? but we got to do it. We got to stretch. We got to push. So I want to give you those two words: stay hungry. Let that be what is underneath. Stay hungry for for being excellent. Stay hungry for having a great relationship. Stay hungry for being a great father. Stay hungry for being a good neighbor, for being a good human being. Stay hungry for being a good contributor. Stay hungry for becoming an ever better version of you. If you got some value out of this, please like and subscribe. Share this with somebody. Spread the good news and the good word. And we will see you in 2026. Let's go.